Welcome to the Elevate Your Equity podcast, where we, as married busy professionals, leverage real estate investing to unlock the 3+1 degrees of freedom: health, location, time, and financial.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Elevate Your Equity podcast. And today we are talking about the episode with Alex Moore, which we just had on the show. And we have a few takeaways that we wanted to share with you guys. And so we're going to kind of go through them step by step here. And the first thing that I took away from this incredible conversation with Alex Moore on building teams and making sure that you're finding the right people to fit in the right roles is to keep operations strong, identifying patterns, diagnosing problems, and including the pattern or the problem of you being in the way of your business. Okay. Sometimes you don't have the time or the bandwidth to do everything yourself. And so you kind of you got to get out of your own way and let someone else do the work for you that can do it better, quicker, and cheaper. So that's the number one thing that I found to be a really important takeaway from the business. And that takes a level of self-awareness. Without having that self-awareness, it's really hard to know that even your business is struggling in the first place. And then the second takeaway that I got from this is using the DISC profile when hiring people to understand how people on your team think and how they work and how they like to work. Because you're not going to want to have someone that's a high D, or basically someone that is very delegatory and makes decisions very quickly, very decisive. You don't want to have them doing projects in which they're entering data into a spreadsheet, because they're going to be bored and unfulfilled. But if you find someone who really enjoys that type of work, then you're going to find that teams just kind of move like clockwork, right? So I think that was a really important takeaway, and something that should be taken up front, even during the interview process when you're looking for people to come onto your team. All right. Number 3, you can identify when you need someone when you're in a reactive phase and you're not planning anymore. So if you realize that you're just putting out fires all the time and you are the bottleneck because you're not able to plan and actually get stuff out there, get materials moving, and let the train move, then that means that you need help. It means that you're going to need to bring someone on board to help you out with the process. So I'll stop right here and I'll see if Sophie can relate to any of this in the business, either in hers or in mine. What do you think about all this? Are these good takeaways?
So yeah, absolutely. So when we would talk about scaling and really expanding, like you said, it's really important to make sure that the team is the right person, is doing the right thing that is fit for the role because of their strengths. Oftentimes we kind of take it upon ourselves to put all of these hats. And so, in our circumstance, I think it's really important and worthwhile looking back to see how fast we've grown with the right people in our team.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes, when we're growing, it's interesting to note that we just know that we need to hire someone and bring someone on, but thinking about bringing the right person on is a very interesting concept. I know it seems pretty obvious from the beginning, but honestly, when you're really in the thick of things and you just need some help, you'll take anyone that comes your way. And I think that's a big mistake. So this is something that I realized here too. And sometimes you'll realize that in becoming the bottleneck yourself. So those are really important takeaways. Number 4 is when you're building processes, and you're trying to look to your team to scale, try providing an outcome and the tools that they need in order to create the result for you. You should use this while you're hiring prospective candidates. So maybe give the candidates a task to do and say, hey, I'm expecting this result. And then the people that successfully pass the job interview are the ones that do the work the right way. So that was something that I thought was a really cool takeaway, and something that I've heard before, but really got cemented into my brain after listening to it from Alex. Okay. And then the last thing that I found was you've got to be able to inspire your team and yourself constantly, because the team is looking to you for guidance. And if you're down, or if you are uncharacteristic in a certain day, that's going to reflect a certain way on your team, because they're looking to you to be the bigger person. After all, it is your company and your process. So the way that you can inspire yourself and your team is to just become a bigger person by consuming positive books, going to groups and surrounding yourself around people that are 1 or 2 or 3 steps ahead of you, and then playing inspiring videos to yourself. Your team members, they will pick up on any energy that you put out there. And so it's really important once you start working with people to put out a positive, helpful, and very inspiring tone so that they can follow in your footsteps and eventually move along and grow with you. And so you do have to keep growing in this business as being a leader. That's just what you do. And so I think that those were some pretty good takeaways. I don't know, do you have any thoughts on these?
Yeah, I just wanted to add, it's really important to be like a servant leader as well, and creating the space and the safe and the psychologically safe space so that people can be free to share what they're feeling, and to make sure that they have the opportunity to challenge you and then grow with you as well.
Yeah, and provide some excess feedback or some things that maybe you would never consider in the first place. I think it's a really good thing to have a team that's in tune with you, and then really wants your success. So all of this is all basic teamwork stuff and influence, but it's super, super important for any of these small teams to grow. And I've seen Sophie do a great job with her team and with my team, being able to cultivate that sense of leadership, to where people are just following where you want to go, and they're excited to work with you to see where things go. So hopefully that works. Having the right people in the right places, knowing when you're the bottleneck, and then knowing how to hire and knowing who to hire and for what role. I think those are all great things that we covered on our conversation. So if you want more details, please go back and listen to that podcast episode, because Alex does a great job of breaking it all down. And if you enjoyed this content, we really hope that you can engage with us. You can comment wherever you're listening or watching, leave a rating or review, do a thumbs up, subscribe. Anything you can do to engage with us will help us figure out what it is that you want more of. And we want to pursue that and provide that for you as well. We do have a Facebook group that's open. And so we invite you guys to join that. It's called the Elevate Equity Tribe. And every week we get together and talk about real estate, personal development, budgeting, growth, everything that you can possibly think of that would be useful to you. And we explore those items and those topics together. And so we're looking forward to seeing you there. And that being said, thank you so much for tuning in. And this is Derek.
And this is Sophie.
We're signing off. Thanks, guys.